All right. Well, without further ado, my name is JP Hunt, and I'm a co-founder here at InkSoft. And let me inform you quickly a little background on InkSoft for those of you that are joining us for the first time. InkSoft is a software company, and we celebrate our 10th year in business, October of 2019. So we've been around, and we've seen an awful lot change in the decorated apparel industry in our 10 years' time. But what we've been trying to do as a software company for 10 years, our vision has always been providing tools to folks just like you, apparel decorators, print shops, print entrepreneurs, providing tools that will help you sell more effectively. And I'm going to give you some real concrete and real world examples of how it is that InkSoft is doing that. So with that said, let's now move on. I'm going to give you sort of a quick presentation here. I promise this isn't long. It's only 5 slides, and then we're actually going to get into the cool stuff, which is the sales platform itself. That's InkSoft. So let me kind of share with you my real agenda for presentation today. Number one, I want to show you how you can use InkSoft as a sales platform to make a real impact on your sales results. So driving more revenue, selling more to existing customers, being more productive. And I'll give you 3 examples or 3 tools that will help you achieve sales growth. And that's online stores. It's InkSoft's online designer, and of course, InkSoft's newest innovation as it relates to a sales tool, and that is our proposal solution. We've kind of, we're playing a different game as it results to art approvals and invoices. We've built an all-in-one solution that we're really excited about that lets you do all of those things, order entry and traditional invoicing, but more importantly, allows you to go out into your market and really inform prospective customers on what it is that you can do for them in terms of branded goods and decorated product. Now, the second half of my presentation is to inform you on how InkSoft can help you get and stay more organized. So what's the value of, if I came to you and said, hey, if we tripled your sales results this year, what kind of impact would that have on your operations, on your business? Would you have to go hire a ton of new people? And so really it's sort of a gauge, right? If you're driving all these new sales results, but you don't have systems to manage the results effectively, so staying organized as it relates to jobs and orders and customer service and customer communication, internal communication. So really think of InkSoft as sort of 2 things, sales tools, but also tools to help you manage the fruits of those sales efforts so you can be in a state where you're working smart, you're working better, and you're, at the end of the day, delivering goods to customers quicker, more accurately, and that's the name of the game. In my 10 years, actually longer, in my tenure in the industry, I've seen so many examples of decorators working hard, making progress, sort of 2 steps forward and 1 step back, in terms of misprints, miscommunication, and sort of hair on fire, stuff scattered everywhere, and InkSoft can really make an impact on those challenges. So that's kind of my agenda at large today. Now, I want to give some real concrete definition to what the hell InkSoft is. Fundamentally, InkSoft is the sales platform for the decorated apparel industry. So we're helping folks that do screen print, that do embroidery, that offer all sorts of imprint and decoration methods. We're helping those folks sell smarter and again, work smarter. And again, the balance of our presentation today is going to be giving, again, real world and concrete examples of how it is that InkSoft achieves these things. Now, I want to set the stage in the following 2 slides, and I promise that's the end of my nerdy PowerPoint presentation. I want to bring some definition, and we have to have an agreement and a general understanding of a few things before I can really show you how InkSoft can make a real impact on sales and productivity. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the life cycle of a decorated product. So if you were to draw out and sort of map and wireframe out, flowchart out, the process that's involved with finalizing a decorated order, going from selling all the way to the end state, which is delivery or the client picking up. And really the end goal, right, is to make customers happy, right? So they return next year for their needs, or they spread the word on social media, or create positive word of mouth marketing opportunity. So this is, of course, a simplified, dramatically simplified, example of that life cycle. This is sort of zoomed out, right? So the first step in the decorated product order life cycle is to sell, right? It's to transact. It's to, create the sales opportunity, right? And of course, there's many use cases and instances where a consumer can purchase decorated product. It could be at a merch tent at a live event. It could be in an online store. It could be an e-commerce type of experience. There's many ways in which consumers tend to consume decorated product, right? The goal is to have tools that allow you to maximize any sales opportunity and really support all of those use cases to give, at the end of the day, your customers the ultimate sort of Amazon type of experience. And this is a term that's now being thrown around and branded. The Amazon experience means convenience, it means simplicity, it means minimal friction, trust. There's so many factors that go into creating that Amazon experience. But at the end of the day, that's what, took Amazon from zero to hero. Now, the next part of the decorated order lifecycle is management, right? And there's a lot to manage. There's customer communication, there's internal communication, there's purchasing, there's receiving, there's statuses, there's just a lot of information, right? So the better we can centralize in one place and organize everything, that means you're going to work better, work smarter, be more productive. And of course, the end result of all of these things, if you're more productive, that means that you get to keep more of your profits, right? It's not necessarily hiring more people to work on the same clunky system. It's to work smarter, right? So you can, make sure that your bottom line is healthy. Now, next, of course, is production. And this is the manufacturing side of the business. This is, in my perception, this is the part of the business that gets so much attention. Anytime you look to social media and you see what decorators are doing, it's always a focus on manufacturing. It's social media posts of the sausage making process, right? The auto press running, throwing, printed, garments on the dryer. So it's always the sausage process, which is important. We don't want to take any of that away. There's a lot that is involved in production, right? There's a lot that can go sideways or go wrong. So of course there's a major step, which is, okay, great. We sold, a bunch of decorated product. We've managed it successfully. Now it's time to produce those decorated goods. And again, a lot of moving parts involved. And if we do all of those things well, and we do all those things right, we're delivering faster, we're hitting deadlines, we're impressing customers. And really, again, the end state is delivery, right? And this is that final success milestone. Did we deliver on time? Did we deliver accurately? Did we profit from this job? Are our customers thrilled and satisfied, again, to create some positive forces in the future? So again, at large, this is the decorated product lifecycle. And we're going to talk more about how InkSoft can help you organize and manage this decorated product lifecycle. So again, you can stay efficient and you can stay productive. You can maximize your profit potential because you're being efficient. All right, lastly, I want to talk about what we refer to as the decorated order data model. I mean, that's pretty mouthy and pretty wordy, but really, like, what's involved with a decorated order, in terms of data, right? What do I need as a decorator? What do I need as a print shop in order to do my job properly and get, get through production successfully to get to that milestone, that success milestone, happy customer? So really, if you zoom out and you look at the four big components of a decorated order, there's customer. And of course, customer is more than just who, it's contact information for that customer. It's which addresses, belong to that customer. What is their history? Do they have an open balance with us? What is their consumption habits? Do they order it once a quarter? How can we predict their habits so we can stay on top of them so we don't risk them going to a competitor? There's just a lot of information that relates to a customer, right? In fact, a customer could be an organization, a company with individuals that are participants in ordering. So it's just, again, the hierarchy and the modeling for customer. There's a lot of moving parts involved. Now, the second major component of a decorated order, of course, is product. And that's probably the obvious one, right? Product. Who's the supplier? What's the quantity? What's the style? What is the size? All of those moving parts that are involved. Again, in what are we printing on? What is the graphic going on? What is the marketing vehicle in this instance? Now, speaking of graphic, that's the third component. That's the imprint. What is the logo? What is the final approved graphic? What are we printing? How many colors? How many imprint locations? What's the stitch count? How many colors are involved? What's the thread library? There's just a lot of information, again, that relate to just the artwork alone. Now, the fourth component at large is transactional. And these are things like shipping. Who's the shipping vendor? What's the shipping method? What's the shipping cost? Shipping label, the in-hands date, delivery date, all of those important, moving parts. But it's also things like, how were we paid? Were we paid in full? Who is the payment processor? What was the date and time the payment was transacted? Do we have an open balance we need to collect? So it's all of those moving parts that relate to just the actual e-commerce or the transactional component of a decorated order. So I'm going to show you how InkSoft can take all of these, what could seemingly be separate things, and how we bond these together. So everything in one organized place is going to let you work smarter, not harder. It's not hair on fire, not post-it notes, not things on calendars or on a whiteboard or spreadsheets or paper. It's centralizing and organizing information so your team, your customers, everybody's really on the same page at the end of the day. Okay, so I promised you I was going to limit my presentation to 5 slides. So let's now exit the presentation now, and let's kind of set the stage here. And maybe the best way to set the stage is to just go to inksoft.com, and I want to kind of explain at large what it is when I say sales platform for the decorated apparel industry. What the heck does that mean? So the reality is the sales platform means having the right sales tools to service your customers, to give them the shopping or buying experience that they expect, that they've been programmed to appreciate. Again, that Amazon type of effect. So in our experience, being in the industry for ages, knowing, interfacing with our customers every day, we came to recognize there's really 3 main ways to sell decorated product. Now, the first condition is an online store. So this is your ability to give your customers a portal, a simple online way to order from you. Now, stores are great for many sales use cases. So think about groups where there's multiple consumers that each need to individually buy product for their own consumption, right? So where do we see these instances? A team. So a team consists of players that all need to consume product, right? Of course, you have sports, athletics involved, in that sort of segment. Now we have companies. So every company, InkSoft included, we go to trade shows. We need our team outfitted. We need brand consistency. We need promotional materials. We need promotional marketing materials. Every company has these needs. I don't care if it's a plumber. I had a recent plumbing experience at my home. So Bellicito Plumbing rolled up with, of course, decorated signage on their, a full wrap on their service vans. Of course, outfitted with professional headwear and apparel. Every company needs to exemplify their brand and promote themselves, right? So stores, company stores, we see so many sub-instances of where a store can service companies, right? Think of a company that onboards a new employee. Part of that onboarding process is outfitting them with maybe a uniform or apparel that they'll need. So again, a lot of use cases that we'll go through in today's presentation. So anytime you have a group selling opportunity, your choice is going to be a paper order form, largely in many instances, which is kind of old school, or it's going to be a custom portal where they can order in the simplest possible way. Now, the real upside for you is all of those orders means there's automation. If somebody places an order online, you get all of that information electronically delivered inside of InkSoft. So no rekeying in information in any other tools. You're paid up front. This was a major theme for 2019 was this notion of accelerating cash flow, not giving out deposits or terms. It's getting paid up front before you incur overhead. And of course, your economic engine depends on things like cash flow and revenue growth and preservation of profit. And stores can make a big impact as it relates to selling to groups and organizations. And I'll give you more instances of how and some of those use cases as we go through our tour today. Now, the next sales tool we'll talk about is proposals. This is the one that has me most excited. So we've seen decorators use invoices and quotes as a way to sell product. So if somebody comes to you and they have a need and they explain their need and what their ideas are to help align with that need, the general response is, well, hey, I'll send you an invoice to give you pricing. And that might not be the best response to a customer's need. That's getting to the bottom line too quickly. And really, at the end of the day, an invoice was invented to create an artifact for accounting. It's a document that showcases the business exchange between two entities, right? So we're in the world of visual, right? Visual value, logos, graphics that are important. The InkSoft logo to me, there's an emotional connotation, right? It's my baby, it's my brand, it's my business. And that's true of teams and clubs and spiritwear. And identity is an important thing, right? So if I'm going to sell somebody decorated product with their identity on it, I want to present that in a visual way. I want to get them excited about the imprint and about the products that I'm suggesting. So InkSoft proposals will let you do order entry, will let you do quotes and estimates and invoicing and order approvals, all of the traditional things that are important. They have a place. But as it relates to selling and presenting, the presentation layer, there is no better sales tool than InkSoft proposals. And I will prove to you why that's the case. Now, the third sales tool that I'll showcase is the InkSoft Online Designer. The Online Designer, as the name implies, is the ability to let end customers self-service. It's to let them be involved in the creative process. It's to let them understand what products you offer. It's a way to understand what graphic options exist, what different ideas are possible, what pricing looks like, the ability to check out and pay online. So the Design Studio has a lot of use cases, as simple as a tool to let your clients be involved and participate in the creative design process, or full-featured e-commerce experience to let them self-service, like they expect from Custom Ink, or Vistaprints, or some of the other major growing e-retailers. Alrighty, so let me kind of show you at large how these things all come together, and then we're actually going to turn our attention to the actual platform. So I've talked about 3 sales tools, online stores, proposals, the designer. These 3 sales tools, when an order is executed, whether it be an online order or a customer paying for an invoice or agreeing to a proposal and wanting to advance, all of that information is normalized. So what InkSoft does is we don't care where the order came from. What we care about is all of the data behind the scenes, and we've normalized that data. So it doesn't matter where an order comes from, because at the end of the day, the order is going to be standardized, right? Customer, transactional, product, imprint. So all of your orders from all of your sales efforts will funnel into one centralized order manager. So this order manager allows you to filter, so I can see the orders that came from a specific team or store or source or date range. I can find orders that are unpaid or paid in full, complete, not complete. So as a business owner, as a production manager, as an operations person, as a customer service person, I have one place to see all of the orders, regardless of source, and I can take action on those orders. I can communicate. I can resolve, impasses or points of friction, like customer called and wanted to change their order. So all of these change conditions can create downstream effects. Well, the order manager lets you manage all of those changes. Now, the next sort of tool here that helps you stay organized and manage your workflow and your business better is Jobs. This is our take on modern production management. And I'll give you examples of how we've re-engineered and rethought and reimagined production management. So this is where you can manage things like purchasing and receiving and creating POs. This is where you can manage and program production intelligently with a huge degree of flexibility. And of course, this is where you can manage production. You can get work done. So I know what is going on in the business today, what assignments in terms of process, where things are at in production. And I can organize all of the assets and all of the data that my team needs in order to do their job effectively. And of course, that end state is deliver, right? That's when the job is done, when the client receives goods and they're happy. And of course, we want to rinse and repeat. So I've explained InkSoft from a high level perspective. We've talked about, some general broad use cases and sort of how the data flows through InkSoft in one place. Now let's jump into the specifics, right? We're going to start with online stores. Now, online stores, again, as the name implies, is to service group selling opportunities and to do it in the best possible way, to give the Amazon type of effect and experience. So I want to first set the stage with the 2 main use cases for online stores. Number 1, you can actually use an InkSoft-powered e-commerce website or web store as a business website. So we encounter an awful lot of print shops and decorators and businesses that have a dated website. They have a website that's not transactional, meaning I can't display products that are relevant. I can't generate leads from my website. I can't let my clients self-service and be informed. It's just an informational website. So many InkSoft customers will actually, their very first InkSoft online store will be dedicated to their main business website. And before you on screen, I have an example of what it is that would be an example of a business website. So with that said, Here's a fictitious company, Circus Print Shop. So you can see, the ability to put your logo, put your branding, your marketing messaging, maybe display products that you're proud of that print well, that have great inventory levels. Let your clients design online using the online designer, which we'll get to in a moment's time. Just communicate at large what it is that your business does, how you're differentiated, what you specialize in. It's communication 101, right? So testimonials, social proof, social media marketing, quote, reception, all of those important transactional things that you as an apparel decorator absolutely need to, market your business properly. So that's one use case for an online store, is taking care of your primary marketing needs, which is having a mobile responsive professional business website that actually will generate value, a lead, an order. It's capable. It's more than just informational, just information, right? And there's many industries and many businesses that can get away with just informational websites, right? And I use the example of a lawyer. What's your area of practice? Give some background on your practicing attorneys. Schedule an appointment. It's largely information that doesn't change over time. It's static. But in our world, we're taking, at the end of the day, a logo or a graphic and we're putting it on stuff. And so there's moving parts there. There's a lot of involvement. There's a lot of interaction. And again, if you look at Custom Ink and you benchmark against really big companies that are taking market share and growing, year over year, they have a transactional website. Now, the final point I'm going to make about a transactional business website is you cannot fully leverage the power of digital marketing. And when I say digital marketing and advertising, I'm talking about things like Google AdWords, paid social media marketing. If I want to market a product or a business and I have a call to action, that usually means that I want somebody to go from the Instagram app to my website, to a landing page where they can consume my product. There might be an opportunity where they're going to purchase. I can convert them from a view of an ad to a customer, a consumer of my product. So in order to do that, think about it. If you were spending money on Google AdWords saying, hey, we help teams and clubs and organizations promote themselves through wearables. Here's some cool examples. Come to our website and what? Is it to learn more? Is it to get information? Consumers want to self-service. They want to be involved. They want to be participants in the ordering process, right? So that's, I think, the first thing to recognize in your business. Can customers transact on your website? Can they self-service? Can they fulfill what it is that your marketing might be promising or offering to them? Or is it a dead end? All right, so the primary use case with online store is the ability to set up stores for your customers, right? So you create a store for your customer, and that store is going to be custom in terms of the look, the products, the information, pricing. So this is really a portal for them to consume the products that are important to them. So here's one example of maybe a prep school. The prep school is going to have uniforms and decorated apparel and fan cloth and all the other things, promotional item signage, you name it. All the products that you think are important or that the customer wants, right? I can tell you, because we've been collecting data since we initiated our platform 10 years ago, the average InkSoft online store has 6 products. And so think about, when you're dealing with a customer, what is the primary products they want or need? If they came to you and said, hey, we want t-shirts, we want hooded sweatshirts for our event, this is an opportunity for you to go to them and say, hey, we think that these 2 other products would have a huge complementary effect. And you don't have to buy them. We're just going to position them on the online store we're going to create for you. And it's just a real great opportunity to let your participants or your student body have more options and have access to more cool spirit wear. Well, that's an opportunity for you to serve your customers better. It's also an opportunity to let consumers have more options as it relates to products. So let me give you a few other examples of online stores. So here's an example of a prep school. Of course, maybe if you're servicing an event or an organization, so whether it be a fundraising opportunity or a local turkey trot, it really doesn't matter. We see online stores for everything that you could expect. A printed good to be associated with political campaigns, community events, fundraisers, athletic teams, schools, sports, clubs, special interest groups, you name it. There's typically, if there's a branded product possibility, there's an opportunity to have a store to support that. So here's an example of an online store that might be suitable for a fundraiser. InkSoft has fundraising technology and functionality that's a participant. So of course you can enable fundraiser, which I'll show you in a moment's time. And there's a lot of ways to configure a fundraising program. It could be units sold. Hey, we're trying to sell 500 shirts to help support this organization, or we're trying to raise $5,000. You can, of course, configure, are you giving a % of the sell, or are you giving a dollar amount for every unit sold? So a lot of ways to configure a fundraiser. Some fundraisers are for 30 days only. Some fundraisers are evergreen, meaning they go year round. So here again is an example of a fundraising program. So let me maybe show you another example. Family reunion. Think about this. If there's a large family and they're all convening, no family member wants to take ownership and order for everybody and hope that every cousin, every distant relative will pay them back, right? So again, this is your ability to quickly create a custom online store to service that large family reunion. So imagine each family member on a Facebook group or as part of an email string or whatever it might be, has access to the store where they can consume products for their family as part of aligning to the family reunion. So again, just wanted to showcase how flexible the InkSoft store platform can be. But let me now share with you what really makes InkSoft online stores dramatically unique compared to any other option that's available in the market. So there's no shortage of online e-commerce stores. But if you go back and look at the data model we talked about for a decorated order, there's e-commerce platforms that, have all the data for a hard good, right? If I'm selling a shoe or a finished good that isn't personalized or customized, there's many e-commerce platforms that are great at that, right? But the reality is that those e-commerce platforms don't consider things like art content, placement of the artwork on the product, imprint pricing. All of the things that make our industry so unique and specialized aren't going to be included in a standard e-commerce platform. So with that said, InkSoft is very unique and has been built for the needs of apparel decorators. And I'll give you two real concrete examples of how that is the case in something that we call Rapid Product Creator. But the first example is the ability to quickly create a store that, again, is going to be specific to your needs and your customers' needs. So what we did is we built a step-by-step store configurator. So you don't have to be a web nerd or a techie. Anybody who's ever used a keyboard, a mouse, and a computer and has experience in a web browser can answer a series of questions, can configure the main settings for a store. Now, every store has maybe a slightly different use case, slightly different requirements. So these step-by-step configuration allows you to make good decisions about the store. So the first order of business is, well, what's the store's name? Customers are going to see this on a packing slip. They'll see it in an email order confirmation. They'll see it in the shipping email confirmation. So this will be visible, but this is also going to be in reports. This will be in the order manager. So you can name a store. You also have the ability to put in contact information. You can make a store password protected or open to the public. You can do things like choose the production schedule, shipping or pickup options. Some of my favorite features is where you have to collect extra information, you can create custom checkout fields. So imagine when a customer's checking out, maybe you need to grab homeroom teacher because the principal wants you to deliver everything bagged by homeroom teacher. So what we've done is we've built a very simple way to build an e-commerce store, but it allows you to configure the stuff that's very specific to your needs as a decorator, doing custom manufacturing, and also the things that are going to make impact on your customer shopping experience. So I won't go too much further into each step. I just wanted to point out that we make it super fast and easy to create a store. We also make it really simple to make a store look awesome. So what I just did is I clicked on the style editor, and as the name implies, this allows you to choose, the colors for the store, the fonts, the font sizes that you want. But most importantly, you'll notice the very bottom right corner, there's a blue icon that allows me to access the component library. Now, components are very specific features that have intention. A fundraising component, as the name implies, allows you to configure a fundraiser. A call to action component lets you configure a marketing call to action. A lead generation component lets you get leads. Featured products let you feature products on the homepage. So we just have this broad library of different purpose-built, think of it as a widget or a tool that will serve, again, a marketing function, sales function. So an example on this store, we have a hero space, right? A big, bold image that represents at the top. But you can really choose where to order these things. So I can click the up and down arrow. I can click on one of these widgets to configure it. So if I'm featuring products, maybe I want to remove a product. I only want to feature 2, not 3 products. Well, I can make those decisions in real time. So that's how we make it quick to build a store. No other solution in the world makes it as fast to build an industry-specific store and make a store look as good. Now, I mentioned to you Rapid Product Creator. This is the one thing that we're very proud of at InkSoft because it solves a huge point of friction, a major bottleneck, and major inefficiencies as it relates to building stores. So if I preach upon you, you can scale your sales growth with online stores, but you have all this labor in order to do that. You have to go to your artist to mock up products and present products. There's just a lot of admin work as it relates to configuring the store. Well, it's going to be less attractive, right? It's also going to eat in and cannibalize your profit. If it takes you 3 to 4 to 6 hours to build a store, well, you add up your payroll expense involved. Well, that's going to diminish your profit opportunity for each store. So it's all about efficiencies and productivity. And the best example of this is something we call Rapid Product Creator. So every time you build the store, you have the ability to upload art assets, the imprint part of that decorated order data model. Here I can drag and drop and upload, vector files or raster images that we might do, heat transfer processes or direct to garment, whatever it might be. You can upload all of the production ready art files. You can even upload embroidery files, and InkSoft actually reads embroidery file formats. So this allows you to take all of your customers' logos or assets or approved graphics, whatever it might be, and you can centralize those. You have a place for you and your team, not in Dropbox, not in Google Drive, not on hard drives, not on a local network. You have a central place to manage all of your customers' critical graphic assets so you can take advantage of them. So let me give you an example of Rapid Product Creator because this is technology that we use in another part of our solution, which is the proposals solution. This is that tool that lets you build a professional presentation to win new business. It lets you build an order. It lets you build an invoice or an estimate. What's always involved in an estimate and an order and a sales presentation? It's logoized product. So I'm going to show you this technology once, but I want you to understand that this is used in stores. It's also used in our proposal solution. So here we've uploaded 2 graphics for this organization, right? Single color imprint. What if we need to create multiple iterations of the logo, multiple color versions? So whether it be an embroidery file or a print file, what I have the ability to do, I can download the art, I can make the artwork inactive, so I can remove it from my view, but I'm not deleting it, or I can choose to permanently delete. Most importantly is the ability to manage colorways. So without having to go to my graphics designer, I have the ability to build a new version of this graphic. So I can say, instead of black, I want to take my color palette, and I want to convert black to blue, and I want to convert white to black. So I can make this quick decision here without going to a graphics designer, opening up Adobe Illustrator, Corel Draw. I can do this on the fly. But as you're doing this, you're also programming the color inputs, the value. You're sort of locking in information here that's going to be relevant and valuable. So now you can see on the first graphic, there's no colorways. On the second graphic, it now says there's 1 additional colorway. So again, you and your team have one place to centralize and manage art content. But let me show you how we bring this full circle to actually building the products that will go onto the online store. So what I can do now is click on products. I can see, hey, these are the products that currently exist on the online store. I can click a product and I can edit that product. So I can change the title of the product, the description. I can do things like modify the pricing or adding what we call custom personalization fields. Again, this is something that our platform does that no other tool in the world does. Let's say that every family reunion member is going to get the same imprint on the front, but it's a requirement that they add their designated last name to the back, where we're going to imprint, with heat transfer material on the back of the garment. So think player names and numbers. Think about personalizing or monogramming the employee name below the company logo. So at every product, you can actually create custom personalization fields to collect the data that you would need to personalize each individual order as necessary. All right, so let's take a step back now. Let's go to Create New. And what I'm going to do in this instance, I can leverage my entire blank product catalog. InkSoft is integrated with every major supplier, apparel supplier in the industry. So SAMR, Alpha Broder, SNS Activewear, Cutter Buck, Augusta, Holloway, you name it. So that means that you can choose the products that you sell. You can, of course, input your price markup, and InkSoft will manage all of your products. Now, again, this is a point of differentiation between InkSoft and other platforms. A product is going to be SKU, weight, description, supplier, manufacturer, core information, right? But so many other platforms ignore the rest of the critical information. What are the minimums? What decoration method or methods does this product qualify for? How many colors can be imprinted? Where can the garment or good be decorated? Left chest, right chest, full front. So many platforms, even in our industry, they're ignorant of the other information that makes big impact in production and decision making and price logic. InkSoft has all of that. So let me show you Rapid Product Creator. This solves the problem of having to go to a graphics designer to create product mockups. It's a waste of time. Not only is it a waste of time, but if your graphic designer creates a product mockup, it's a mockup. It's a logo on a product. There's no definition of how many colors, what type of art, how that's placed on a garment, what the size is, all of the information that can make or break my success as it relates to production. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a logo, and immediately that logo is now on the product that I've selected. I have the ability on the left to choose the different garment styles that I want to present to my client in an online store or in a sales presentation. So in this case, maybe I'll do a blue and a heather gray. I can add more, right? So in this instance, hey, I want the sort of monochrome imprint on the gray. On the blue, we're going to grab a different iteration. And I'll grab actually a third color here to make this point. Let's go to an ash version of the garment. On the ash, we want the blue imprint. So you can see this is one product. It's going to come in 3 different styles. Each style might have a different logo colorway. So what I'm doing is I'm being conscientious of garment style or product style and imprint style, and I'm making that relationship and association. Now you also notice that there is a printable region here. So when you set up products in InkSoft, you can define the maximum area, say for full front. You can also define left chest, right chest, whatever regions you want. So this, as soon as I click Create Product, you'll notice that product went on a temporary area here at the very top where I can go and build more products. As mentioned, the 10 years worth of data shows that the average InkSoft online store has on average 6 products. So you can see if it took you maybe 30 seconds to build a product, you can again build stores quickly and deploy stores very quickly as a result of this efficiency. So again, we're going to maintain this temporary shelf where you can go build more product associations. I can grab a tank top. I can throw a different iteration of a logo on it. I can then create product and add that to that product shelf. So now we have 2 products that exist. Well, really, the final state here is to click Next and define the final product details. Maybe you want to personalize the name. Hunt Family Reunion Tank. Hunt Family Reunion Unisex T-shirt. I can choose the default color I want to display. I can customize the SKU. I can input the final retail price. Now, because InkSoft is industry specific, we know that, hey, you have a different cost and a different markup potential for different size garments. So although I assign $19.99, I might come back at the 2XL and say that's $23.99. The 3XL is going to be $27.99. And of course, the 4XL might be $29.99. So you can override. But I can click Finish, and I can publish those products directly to the store. I could publish those products right to a sales presentation, a lookbook, an invoice, an estimate. So we are so pumped about Rapid Product Creator, and there'll be more value that we're going to deliver to Rapid Product Creator in terms of features. But as the name implies, think about the times and the wasted effort you spend as it relates to mocking up products. Well, InkSoft has the solution that's used in multiple sales tools to give you maximum efficiencies and to help you get organized. The one last point I'm going to make here, as a result of choosing a product that has all the important information that InkSoft stores and manages, logoizing that product with all the information that is important, when your client buys an order from an online store, you've already pre-programmed all the information that your production team will know, that your purchasing and receiving team will need to know, that your order management, customer service will need to know. So there's no extra work downstream because of the efficiency you created upstream. So you're handing better quality data to your team, and that's going to mitigate misprints or mistake opportunities that could occur, right? All right, so that's kind of it as it relates to stores. There's an awful lot more to show, and there's a lot more detail to get into. But at large, serve group selling opportunities better with custom online stores. You have a lot of options to choose from, but InkSoft is the best because we've built this, smart tools that are going to make you efficient and give maximum value to not only you, but also your customers. All right, so let's move on to the next sales tool, which is the Online Designer. And I want to point out, here's a real-world example from Success Print Shop, one of our favorite InkSoft customers. Jonathan has done some amazing things with his business and continues to grow. Savvy, young marketer. So what Jonathan has done is he's embedded the InkSoft Online Designer right onto his custom website. So I want to point out that with the Online Designer, there's two ways to deploy it. You can, if you have a gorgeous website you're really proud of, you spend a ton of money developing and designing, well, you can add the InkSoft Designer right to your website to let your clients, just like they would at Custom Ink, to be involved in the custom apparel decision-making process. What products do you offer? What styles? What's the size chart? What's the price? What decoration options are available? What does it look like? All of those things that you probably spend a lot of time going back and forth endlessly can be solved with the Design Studio. Now, I'll point out right now, the Design Studio is not for every single consumer. Just like online stores aren't meant for every single sales opportunity, right? So it's about having the right sales tool to get the work done in the best way possible. So think about the consumer that is savvy, that is hyper involved in their brand or their logo, their identity, their club. They want to be a participant in the design process. And Custom Ink is a great example of that, right? They're a $500 million a year company. And all they do is let end customers self-service and personalize online and be involved, right? So there's a place and a time for this. But also, let me serve up, the most obvious use case for the design tool. Think about customers that come to you and they have a need. Hey, we're doing a soccer tournament. We need some cool merch to sell to raise money to help the tournament next year. So with that said, you're on the creative hot seat. Do you have a logo already? No. Yes, we have a logo. We're not happy with it. We want something new. Can you give us some ideas? So think about the impasse. You have a barrier to moving the sales process forward until you can get agreement and confirmation on the artwork, right? And that's not in every instance, but largely that's the case. So the design tool, the way InkSoft customers are using it, in the most simple way is, hey, great, we have a way for you to go to our website where you can generate ideas, save your ideas, we can retrieve those ideas, and we'll take it from there to give you pricing options and product options that we would recommend. A lot of InkSoft customers will create an in-store retail experience where customers can sit down at a cool desk with a big screen and they can be involved in the design process with your team. So it's a cool experience, whether it be in retail or online. So with that said, let me take a sip of coffee here and let me take you through the journey of the Design Studio. It's really simple. First stage is let the customer choose a product. Again, this is where your blank products will display. So no longer do people have to sift through a SAMR catalog or an analog, paper-based catalog, or go to a janky website that has too many products. You can curate. This is a theme that you keep hearing about in our industry. You are the expert. Your customer expects you to curate and showcase product. So with that said, this is your opportunity to put your best products forward, to be smart about product presentation. Don't overwhelm. Give customers good, better, best. So in real time, you can always publish products. You can remove products. You are in control of the products that display on your website and in your online designer. So in this case, I can search my product catalog as a shopper. I can browse by category or filter. So the goal here is I can quickly find the product that aligns with my need. So in this case, I wanted a long sleeve t-shirt. Great, I found that long sleeve t-shirt. I can quickly understand the size chart. I can see sizes that are available, the colors that are available. So in one view, I can get a quick confirmation that I want this product, or I want to dismiss that and choose a different one. So it's all about rapid product commitment, which is the first stage in the selection here. I can click Design Now, in which case now I can focus on the design process. And there's a few use cases for design. Believe it or not, the number one use case, so we've studied for 10 years, we look at the transactions from the Design Studio, and we look at the scenarios, right? The number one scenario or use case is a customer has a graphic, they want to upload it and place it on a product and check out and go. So I can, the first option here, it's prioritized since it's the most popular use case is upload. So in this case, the customer can upload by dragging and dropping or browsing from their computer to upload, their graphic. And I want to flag right now, in case you joined us late, we will be taking questions at the end of the webinar today, so hold tight. We will take questions. So here again, customers can upload their content and interact with it live on screen. The next use case is I have a logo, but I need to build a theme around my logo. So here's a good example. Maybe InkSoft is going to do a corporate, executive retreat in Sedona, Arizona, but we want to commemorate that. We want to build, perpetuate our brand and do a cool, employee merch, bag or whatever it might be, bundle. So with that said, I can upload my corporate logo, but I can build a theme around that logo and commemorate, Sedona 2020 executive retreat. So upload, and then the ability to add text, add clip art, add a graphic element. The third and final path here is I don't have anything. I'm the person that was nominated on behalf of my family reunion committee to design t-shirts. So with that said, just like Custom Ink and just like Vistaprints, we offer a huge range of design templates. And think of a design template as a design idea. It's a placeholder for a good idea. So think about the times that you've wasted. Think about the frustration that you and your customer have as it relates to, hey, we want a cool soccer theme. Go create some ideas for me. And then you present ideas and nobody likes it. And you go back and forth. And finally, you've wasted time. You're not getting past that impasse. Everybody's frustrated. Maybe you lose jobs to your competitors that make that process simplified. So this is a way to minimum let your clients communicate at large what they want, where their head's at. Give me a prototype to work from, right? So that said, I can choose a theme and then I can personalize that theme. So I could transform this to Arizona, rugby club. So simply by just making decisions here, choosing maybe the text shape that I want, or, just making these decisions and seeing things on screen, not having to go back and forth. Can you change this? Can you modify that? It's your opportunity to just get graphics quickly generated so your customers can commit to an order. We can go on to the next stage in the sales process, which might be product selection or price or whatever it might be. So again, this is the ability to, as an end consumer, to do things like remove, delete, have fun. You always hear digital marketers talking about creating an experience, right? This is a positive experience. I get to be involved. It's creative. It's fun. It's engaging. I will relate that experience to your brand, compared to maybe the competitor I worked with last year. So you can see, this is the ability for me to, do things like take a template, customize it. I can go into different sections, or I can search rugby or browse through categories. So we just have a massive, massive collection of art content in every conceivable category. So you're never at a loss. You're never at a sales impasse. There's something for any consumer. There's different styles. There's different, iterations of a rugby, theme. So your clients can choose the theme or the thing that sort of aligns best to what it is they want, right? So they can size, place, position. I can curate the colors. So in this case, I want to take the cardinal red and maybe make that blue. So really, I can just have fun with this process. I can be quick with it, make modifications necessary, and get to that state where really transactionally, I want to save my design and share my design on social media or via email. So think about empowering your customers to create a concept that they like because they created it, and then share it with maybe decision makers, people that are involved in the process, right? So clicking share allows your customers to be your best marketer, your virtual word of mouth marketer, and allows you to share content that's custom. Get buy-in, and that could result and trigger a sales conversion. Well, of course, the other conditions here, the ability to click next step, where the customer can input the size, the quantity that they want, and they have the ability to get a price. And so think about the times that you're stopping your work, you're answering the phone, and people want an arbitrary price when you don't have all the information organized. And, so it's really serious versus curious. Are you a consumer that's willing to pay a fair price for amazing quality, amazing service? And if not, and if you think that, you're that consumer that, is going to beat us up and be the worst customer ever, well, maybe it's not a good fit or good marriage. There's so much discussion in our industry about, Do you display pricing? Do you hide pricing? And I think the consensus is generally, well, hey, if you stand behind your product and your service and you're proud of what it is that you do and the value you offer to your customers, and you have fair pricing, why would you hide that? What's wrong with that? So in this case, you can filter curious versus serious. You're not wasting your time quoting and doing mock-ups and art approvals for folks that will never, translate to a sale because you're too expensive and the guy down the street will do it for less, right? So that said, this is a quoting mechanism. This is a filter. And if the customer's in, maybe they're going to click the button that says buy now. And of course, pay and self-service online. So that's the Design Studio in a nutshell. I want to spend the balance of our time today talking about the proposal solution that we offer. And I'm going to start backwards, not how you make a sales presentation or how you make an invoice or an estimate or an art approval, but really, what is the experience like to your customer, right? So this is my ability to give my customer a professional presentation of your logo, your identity on different product that we think would match your goals and match your needs. So it's showcasing, it's visual value. Manufacturers and brands and companies know that if they put samples in front of consumers, well, they're more inclined to buy because they get experience, they get to be a participant. So the reality is, our industry has largely used things like this, an invoice, right? That just communicates the price as a way to present or to sell or transact. So there's a place for invoicing. I've been taking a lot of shots lately at invoicing. So invoicing still has a place. If a customer wants to place a reorder, there's no sense in having them, approve and go through a process where maybe it's a new customer. They just need to pay online, right? So an invoice still has a place. But we think an invoice doesn't have the best application as it relates to interacting with a new customer to win their commitment, win their trust, win their favor, eliminate the competition from the mix altogether. A proposal is the best tool to do that. So at the end of the day, I can choose, do I want to present as a sales presentation to get approval and to get communication that's what's relevant in the sales process? Or do I want to take the same exact data and just present it as an invoice? At the end of the day, the data model that we've been talking about, customer, product, imprint, transactional, is normalized. I can choose how to present it to my customer based on the sales, the need of the sales opportunity, right? So that is proposals in a nutshell. It's the ability to, manage your sales pipeline, quickly build a presentation and get it in front of a customer. And so the reality is, if I go to create a sales presentation or an invoice or a manual order entry, this is one tool to do all of those things. One place to organize orders, invoices, quotes, estimates, art approvals, and sales presentations. Because remember that data model that we've been talking about, contact, payment, transactional information. So all of that stuff is managed here on the left-hand side. Who is the customer? How are they paying me? How are we shipping or delivering goods to them? All of that is trapped and organized here. And then in the balance of this user interface is the ability to add products, add art, add services, add custom line items. I can organize all of that information necessary as it relates to order entry, invoice, or sales presentation. Now, again, I mentioned that the Rapid Product Creator is a tool used to build a store, the products for a store. It's also used to build the products that would go into a sales presentation. So there is no tool in the world that will let you build an invoice or a sales presentation as fast, because I can leverage my actual product catalog that has all of that supportive information that, again, is important in production, important in pricing, and it's important to my business. I can grab the styles of garment that I want to present to my client, and then I have a decision tree. Do I have my customer's artwork? So yes, I want to upload it and logoize the product. Maybe I don't have the customer's artwork yet. We're still working on that. They're waiting for the ad agency. They're still waiting, whatever it might be. So I can estimate, hey, we know that it's a one color front and a one color back. We know that much. We just don't have the final art rendering yet. So I can estimate the art price, or I can keep it blank. So you can choose whatever's appropriate. In this case, I can upload the art assets, I can logoize the product, and I can get that right into that sales presentation. So I can then get that in front of my client. So there is what is called the half-life of a sales opportunity. Your customer expects the Amazon treatment. They expect, I have a need for t-shirts. I'm going to make some phone calls or engage with people or do some searching. I want somebody to respond to me fast because I'm special. I'm a consumer. And I expect fast response from merchants, right? Again, because the Amazon effect has treated us to get products in 1 or 2 days, to get information quick, to get customer service quick. So that said, if you can be the person in your area, in your market, that responds faster than any of your competitors with the best presentation, you are likely to win that sales opportunity. Consumers aren't as concerned nowadays of the best price. They expect good price, they expect great service, but they expect immediacy as it relates to response to their needs and attention and detail to their needs, to show care. Because if I'm going to entrust you with my brand and my marketing needs, I expect that my experience is going to be good through the entire engagement, not just in the upfront sales process. So this is really where you have the ability to really differentiate your business compared to competitors in your market. Now, ask yourself the question, how long does it take for you to respond with a quality presentation to a customer's need, to a potential opportunity? Is it 15 minutes? Is it 1 day, a couple days? So imagine this, put yourself in this position. On average, if you got a phone call and somebody has a need, there's a sales opportunity, they want product ideas and they want logo ideas, how long does it take you to respond? So write down that answer and then ask a follow-up question. If my competitor beats me to response and their response looks better than mine, what is the likelihood that I'm going to win favor and win that opportunity? All right, so the balance of what I wanted to share with you today, I'm not going to go too deep. So think of InkSoft again as sales tools that lets you sell smarter and better than your competition. It gives your customers an amazing buying experience, and it solves a lot of the problems that you're accustomed to, right? You get paid up front. All of the information is electronically organized. InkSoft is integrated with QuickBooks, so you can get that information into your accounting software. So really, it's just going to let you work better and work smarter. So everything's organized in one place. So what we do in terms of organization, imagine all of your orders in one place, and I can quickly filter and I can drill to the information that I need. If all of my customer information is organized in one place, so I can keep track of customers and interactions. If purchasing and receiving is organized in one place, if production is organized in one place, you can come to see how you can sell and grow your sales and really scale up without incurring more overhead, more friction, and more problems. So in conclusion, I want you to think of InkSoft as a tool that's going to let you sell smarter and more effectively, but then take all of the results from your sales efforts and make sure that you're being productive, making sure that you have a simple workflow to manage your, again, sales results, so you don't screw up, right? We've seen so many instances of where, at a trade show where a decorator is just giving us these horror stories about, we sold and we got some new opportunities and then we screwed up because, we have Post-it notes everywhere and just our team is so disorganized. They're frustrated. We have turnover because of frustration and chaos. So really in a nutshell, InkSoft is a sales platform. And the definition of that platform is to let you sell effectively, but then manage your sales results so you get work done better and you make for happier customers.